Hello,
Oh my
ladies and
gosh,
gentlemen.
fun.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Table Talk podcast, hosted by Marley and Angelina of Stage Rats. Now, this is one of our many adventures in Stage Rats trying to do more and be more active. So, what this podcast basically is going to be is we're either going to table read scripts that us and our various friends have written and then critique them and bully the person who wrote it, or
We
or
want them to cry. That's the whole goal.
yes, we love tears, we eat them, nom 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 nom. It's that, or we will come up with the best movie pitch based off of a prompt. Now, Angelina, what is our prompt for today?
Our prompt for today is a Disney park theme. Tell me why I'm already forgetting it. Oh my gosh, this is awful for me. Uh, uh,
Take a sip of
my
water,
brain
take a
isn't all
deep
the.
breath, start over.
You're so right. You're the reason why I get up in the morning. She texts me. She says, "Get up."
You missed your alarm. I know it. I asked Michael, you're not awake. Wake up, come on.
So
Your
our,
mom's making
I think I
breakfast.
got it. Our prompt for this week is a Disney park slash hotel sort of thing. So basically, like, we're just gonna run with it. It's such a
Yeah.
simple baseline idea,
Make
but that's
a
the whole
movie
point, is that it
pitch.
could be crazy.
Make a movie pitch based off of the Disney theme parks. We're each gonna
Mm-hmm.
have, since it's just the two of us, I think we'll each have 3 pitches. And your pitches must be accompanied by a title. So you'd have to title
Oh,
your film.
okay.
Uh, and then we will debate which one is the most superior. And then we will do a scene from that movie on the spot, improv. It will be horrible. Please listen.
All right, Marley, why don't you take it away with your first pitch, and then we'll go to
Okay.
mine.
For those who don't know, I am a complete Disney Parks nerd. That's why I came up with this idea. So my first pitch is based off of my favorite ride at Disneyland, and it's called the Enchanted Tiki Room. That's both the
Your
name of the
favorite ride
ride.
is a Tinky Room?
Well, it's not a ride, it's an attraction. It's my favorite attraction. But that is my favorite thing to do
Oh,
at Disneyland, fun fact.
oh,
Um,
fun.
so the ride and the movie would be called the Enchanted Tiki Room. And have you ever seen 50 First Dates, Angelina, with Adam Sandler and wait, not 50 First Dates. What's it? Just Go With It. It's Adam Sandler
Just go with it.
and
Oh, I know
Rachel
what you're
from
talking.
Friends,
Oh,
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah,
There we go.
and he's pretending he's trying to impress another girl. So Jennifer Aniston is like his
Is that
his
the one
ex-wife.
where they meet on the beach or whatever?
Yes. So
I've seen the
Jennifer
beginning of
Aniston.
that movie.
It's a very good movie. You should finish it. It's on Netflix.
Ooh,
Uh,
okay.
or it might not be very good, but I enjoy it a lot.
It's
Uh,
good for an Adam Sandler movie.
it's a good for an Adam
Yeah.
Sandler movie. So, as good movie, whatever. Uh, so it's kind of in a way based off of that. So there's this guy, right, and he goes to Hawaii. He's having a rough time at work. He's not married, doesn't have any kids, pretty young, and he's
Same here.
just trying to like get away for a weekend. You know, he's been saving up for this trip forever. Life's hard, whatever. Uh, and there he meets this girl who's like at this. He's at this big Hawaiian resort. It can even be Disney's Hawaiian resort, Alani. If you've never heard of that, so just Disney can tie it all together. But he goes to this big fancy like all-inclusive resort on the beach in Hawaii, and there he meets this girl who's like she's like a singer there, and she does like shows at like the bar or something. Stop changing your Zoom background, it's very distracting.
I'm sorry. I just didn't like the other one.
You know what, I understand, but he meets this girl who's like she performs at the hotel, and he falls head over heels in love with this chick, right? But the one thing is and he sees her after hours. She's getting a drink there. She's just kind of hanging out at the hotel, and they immediately like hit it off. The one problem is that she has like a stereotypical jerk boyfriend that's in like all of like he doesn't treat her right. He drives like a motorcycle.
What's that Jennifer Aniston movie that you and your mom tried to like say my life was?
I don't remember.
It was Jennifer Aniston and Kevin Bacon. Because that's what this is giving me. It's giving me very that vibes.
I don't remember what it was called, but yes, that's the vibe. But anyways, so she has a jerk boyfriend, but this
Picture
guy,
perfect.
picture perfect. Yes, yes, that's you and Jordan Reed. Picture perfect.
Oh my god.
Not me. The guy is so in love with this girl. He's like, you know what? I gotta save her from her jerk boyfriend. But I'm just so bad with girls. And even though they kind of hit it off, now that he knows that she's not single, it's a lot more awkward and tense because he doesn't want to flub up or like make it look. It's like a mind game kind of thing. But then there's this room in the hotel that's like kind of like a what's it called, like a greenhouse room, and there's a bunch of exotic plants. It's still like a fancy part of the hotel, so it's got a lot of like tiki Polynesian architecture style, and it also houses a mini zoo full of macaws and exotic birds, and they call it the tiki room. and it's kind of an advertising point for this hotel. It's said that like lovers meet there and you'll find your soulmate in the tiki room if you come there and you're single. So this
Does
guy,
Copacabana play in the background?
why would Copacabana play? It'd be the soundtrack of the tiki room.
But like overlay the audios.
Okay, maybe like you ever go on
It's
YouTube and you hear those remixes where it's like this is Hamilton and Moana, but it's like meshed together, so they're like one song.
Yeah.
It'll be like that. It'll be it'll be exactly that. So he goes there and he's all alone. It's like the middle of the night, and then he freaks out because like the birds start talking to him.
Oh god.
And it's the four macaws from the show, and they all have their weird accents. And they sing a little song to him, but their main thing is they're like, but, okay, this girl comes into the tiki room all the time, hoping her boyfriend will follow her, so she knows he's the one, but it never happens. We're gonna give you some love advice so you can get with this girl. And the whole movie, he's like trying to woo this girl with the advice from the tiki birds, and maybe a few of them like follow him out, like maybe like one bird at a time comes out with him and like whispers advice into his ears. And the climax of the movie, if you've ever been in the attraction, the show kind of ends because they anger the gods with a huge luau, and there's like they cause a big rainstorm.
Right.
So the climax of the movie would be, so he's basically got this girl, right? And he's set up
They're
this
gonna anger the gods?
I'm getting there. Hush.
I'm excited.
So they're getting this so he's basically got this girl, right? And he's planning this huge date with the two of them, like in the tiki room, in this beautiful room in the hotel, where he's gonna confess his feelings. And it's like the last day of his vacation too. He's about to leave. He's gonna ask her to he's gonna ask her if he should stay, because maybe he works in the hotel industry too, and he could just work at the hotel or whatever.
Right.
But the volcano on the island goes off because the tiki birds have such a big party, like on the ride, celebrating this big date, that it makes the gods angry with all the celebrating. And then he saves the girl, maybe the douche nozzle boyfriend dies in the volcano, or he just saves him. She breaks up with him during this whole event
He turns
because,
into a bird,
oh my God, he should. I was gonna
right?
say maybe she breaks
Wait,
up with him because he saves himself during the volcano. He's like, I already blasted off. I was gonna save you and like get you on my plane off the island, but I decided to like leave early without you.
and that's Gilbert Gottfried's backstory.
That is, oh my God, from Aladdin.
The character
So
has
yeah.
to be named Iago.
Oh my God. Did you know? Okay, theme park fun fact. There was a temporary overlay to the Tiki Room called Tiki Room under new management, and it featured
Uh-huh.
Zazu and Iago
I heard about that.
from, oh my gosh, he should be named Iago. And maybe like the hotel concierge is like named Zazu. You
Oh,
should go. They have
fun.
videos of that iteration of the Tiki Room online.
Yeah,
I think it only
I heard
happened
about
at
that.
Disney World, but
Mhm.
it crazy stuff. But yeah, that is the Enchanted Tiki Room as a film, the adaptation.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
Okay.
clearly you've had a lot of time to think about
I've
this.
had that idea since I was like 5, and I saw Just Go with it with Adam. I think I'd want Adam Sandler to play the guy, and it to kind of be the same kind of hokey Adam Sandler movie. And I'd have the girl be played by like Drew Barrymore. They work very well together, and she's very
They
pretty.
do.
I'd have the hotel like receptionist who tells them all the local legends. The guy who plays like, oh my God, what's his name? Mr. Mosby
Oh yeah.
from Sweet Life, cause even in like the Phineas and Ferb
Phil
special he was
Lewis?
in,
Yeah,
yes, even in the Phineas and Ferb special he was in, he played a hotel receptionist, and I think he just has that role down.
that's his typecast.
That is his typecast. And the Duke boy, the Duke,
The
the
Duke.
jerk, the douche boyfriend. I don't know. I either want him to be like very grubby, like Steve Buscemi, or him to be like really hot and out of like like
So
like Adam
either
Sandler's like, I can't compete with this guy. Like a
so it's either
complete
Gibby
hot.
from iCarly or Ed Westwick.
Yes. Yes. Maybe. Ooh, you know who would play him? I think his name is Luke Evans. He was Gaston in the live action remake of Beauty and the Beast, and he was also in like The
Oh,
Alienist
yeah,
or
that
something.
would
Like
be good.
he would totally play the douche boyfriend. But
Oh,
yeah,
he
that's
would.
my pitch for um the Enchanted Tiki Room, the movie. Angelina, what's your movie?
Okay. All right. So in my head, I'm just thinking, I'm spouting ideas. Oh God, I have 2 ideas. I'm gonna go with the first one though.
You
Because
have
what are we
3
doing?
pitches. You can use both.
Oh, bet. Okay. So, right. So, God, it's gonna be word vomit. So bear with me here.
Um,
All
what's the
right.
title of the movie?
I have to say the plot first. We'll get to that.
Okay,
It's gonna
okay,
manifest itself.
okay.
It'll come to me. Okay, so all the Disney princesses, right? All the ones that like you can dress up as in the theme parks, they're like, it's like that, but Real Housewives sort of melodrama, right?
Oh, so like that one scene in like Wreck-It Ralph 2,
Yes, but
and
also
that one
that's,
SNL skit.
yeah, I was gonna say that SNL skit, yeah. However, it's like high stakes. It's like Big Little Lies, sort of like, oh, she did what? Her prince did what? Um, so hear me out. The princess we're gonna center around is let's do let's do Rapunzel. Why not?
I love Mandy Moore, please. Mandy
Right?
Moore
Okay.
looks like Rapunzel.
She does. She
Yeah,
really
look at it.
does.
Yeah, if you look at her face, like they have the same features. It's crazy.
Hmm. So, okay. So the movie starts, right? And it's definitely the whole like all the princesses who are already there. This is a period piece, obviously, because this is when Tangled is first coming out.
Mm. Yeah.
What was that, 2008? Something like that?
No,
Something.
like 2010.
2010?
Somewhere around
Yeah.
that time.
So
2010,
like
2012.
Frozen didn't even exist.
Yeah, it was like 2 or 3 years before Frozen.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
Right. Okay.
So she shows up on her little like what's it like, don't they actually have like a like when they're like putting an actual like official princess into the official princess lineup, like an actual like day for them?
Yes, they have like a little ceremony when their
Yeah,
movie comes
so
out.
it's ceremony day, right? And all the princesses there are like wives and girlfriends of like like it's the same feeling of like a sports team like WAG, because it's like they're all like they have their little matching jackets like when they're not in costume. Um and so God, so Rapunzel comes in, right? But like, and here's the thing, they think that they're their princesses because ego boost. So like the little Rapunzel girl, let's call her Millie. That just made sense. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Millie walks in, right? And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be a Disney princess." And then the girl who plays Cinderella, oh, she has that's her enemy right there, you know?
Yeah.
And God, this is so awful. Uh, my brain is at full capacity right now.
Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
And she's like, she starts pulling all these pranks on her throughout the day. So like everything's going wrong. Like there's like stuff in her wig that like jelly or something. And then
Jelly.
jelly. And then
Jelly.
like she rips the zipper on her dress, her Rapunzel dress. And like she puts like, I don't know, like more jelly in her shoes. So she's like, oh, but then the cast
So much
direct the
jelly. She's Cinderella. She could just have like little nice friends like attack her. Like she's doing a meet and greet with like a
I'm
little
getting
kid, and then
there.
these two rats like run up and just beat the shit out of Rapunzel.
The rat infestation is coming. Relax. And so she's like on stage for her little ceremony, and then like this is when things go bad. Like it's not like harmless prank anymore. Like these girls for no reason just like don't like her, and you don't know why they don't like her. Like Merida shoots a bow at her. And like not Rapunzel, poor innocent girl. Bella's like throwing books, like all their respective like weaponry, and she like finally like breaks down on stage, and like the cast director is like so upset because they've ruined all the magic, and so they're all like in the dressing room, like in those little under tunnels down below,
Yeah.
and it's like the sports team losing like in the last period of a game, and they're like, come on lads, like get it together. But like the director is like had it with them, and they're like, what's up? And then you're like, you know what, every princess except for Rapunzel is fired, so they all get fired, and that is not good.
So
And
does the girl playing Rapunzel have to play all of them?
no, they'd say, you know what, you've ruined the magic for these kids. It's a whole media affair too, right? So like
Mm-hmm.
they're like princesses gone wild, like sort of deal. And
Snow White like flashes the camera of like a local. Oh, you see them after they get fired, they refuse to take off their costumes, so they like
yeah.
shuffle out of the park, like in as the Disney princesses, and like the news are like Snow White, tell us about what
Hmm.
happened. Why did you get? And she like flashes the camera,
Right, and
and she
Ariel's like,
eats
no
an
further
apple and
questions. She has
decides.
sunglasses. And so like after they all like grudge out and like they steal all the costumes or whatever, little Millie is left with the cast director, and she's like, kid, it's all you now. And like she has that little like movie montage where like like they like get to the peak of their success and like everything's going good because like
Yeah.
obviously everybody adores Rapunzel because she did nothing wrong. She was the victim.
Yeah.
And so and mind you, in this little walkout strike affair that all the princesses did, all their men went with them too.
Oh no. So now, well, it's not like you see the princes that much in the parks, but I mean,
Right.
it hurts to have them gone.
Yeah, it really does. And so like and even the guy who played Flynn walked out too. That's the thing.
Oh no. Is he like the love interest for the movie?
Yes.
Okay, good.
We're getting there. My brain is processing this as we're going. This is improv at its finest. And so, hold on. Okay. Okay. I didn't think of anything. I was just saying, okay. All right. So, so like she's at the height of her success, and then like we cut to all like the gang's all here. It's kind of like that part in Shrek where all the villains get together and team up.
Oh, okay.
It's like that sort of thing. And like maybe I am just maybe it is just Shrek I'm saying.
You know
Because like
what?
Rapunzel's the lead of it, or Rapunzel's the lead, and then like of that one, and then
And they're all making fun
Cinderella's
of a
like
misfit.
yeah,
Oh my
and then
gosh.
and Cinderella's like the leader of like the evils or whatever.
Can like somebody, a completely random character, like can Chip, like one of the in the big
Yeah.
mascot head, like can Chip could be the lovable like sidekick character? So like when Rapunzel's at her lowest, he like takes off the big head and he's like, "Hey, Millie, let's talk."
Yeah, and then because like even the Pascal character, he's like, you suck, Millie, and he leaves.
Yeah, why does everyone hate her so much?
So then they're all plotting, right? I'm getting
Yeah.
there. It's
Okay.
coming eventually. They're all plotting. They're like, we need our jobs back, right? And like now, like reality set in for them because they're like, well, like I live in LA, like rent ain't cheap. Like
Yeah.
they're like, what am I supposed to do? Like I'm a performer, I'm an artist. Like it's that whole thing. Um, and they're like, well, there's only like one option, and that's to kill her.
Oh, why does it always come back to murder? Disney would never make this movie.
Yes, they would. And then you cut to Millie going home after a long day of being the star of the parks. Like even Mickey is like the I think
She's the only Disney
eventually
princess you can meet.
yeah, and I think eventually all the other like the furry characters they all get
They all get jealous because people want to meet the one
yeah.
princess. Like she
So
has
they all end up
a
walking out.
16-hour line.
Right. So at one point it's literally just like her and Mickey. Like that's it. Like the park is hurting, like it's a thing. So she's going home from like a long day. The guy who plays Mickey, like he's so sweet to her. He's like, "Let me walk you to your car," right? And then and then he's like, doing like and there's no it's strictly platonic, right?
Yeah.
And she like gets to her car, little Ford Fusion. Uh I don't even know what a Ford Fusion looks like, but it just feels right.
Yeah.
Um And so he's like doing the gentleman thing that like platonic guy friends do. And he like opens the door for her and she like gets in her car. And before he closes the door, he goes, I know what you did. And he slams the door and he leaves, right? And she's like sitting in her car in like the Disney parking garage and she's like freaking out.
She's in like Eeyore parking and the sign is like right behind her. Wait, can the parking sign, since everyone's like watching her, you know, in like the Haunted Mansion movie, when the bus like follow you, like can the eyes in the
Yeah.
parking garage sign like follow her like as she drives away?
Yeah. Yeah. And so she goes home and then we finally see her home for the first time and she has no home. She's a squatter, right? But then you look, you're like, but she's a well furnished, like this house is well furnished for somebody who's squatting. So then you're like, what's going on? So then you're like looking around the house and like it's Rapunzel themed and like, it's whatever. But then like like, I don't, and like everyone's been calling her Millie and stuff, and then like it cuts to a shot of the mail on the desk, and it says Millie, so you're like, it's obviously her. But then she gets a call from I don't know, from the girl who's playing Sleeping Beauty. Isn't it fun to see my mind at work?
This is like the most convoluted, horrible M. Night Shyamalan movie that's ever been conceived.
Mm-hmm. The Sixth
You know
Sense
what?
has nothing on this.
This next pitch, I'm just gonna talk for as long as I can so I can give you time to think of something. We should
Can
have
we just do
discussed
2
these
pitches
prompts
instead of 3? Because
beforehand.
this is a lot.
Okay, but what if I have a really good third one?
Then yeah, okay, that's fine. I
Okay.
don't care. Okay,
Okay.
so then she gets a call from the girl who's playing Aurora, right? Because like
Mm.
they're secretly buddies, we find out. And she picks up the phone, and the Sleeping Beauty girl, let's say her name's Jessica, right? Such a
Love
Jessica.
Jessica.
And she's like, "Hey, Sandra," and you're like, everyone's world has been like flipped upside down, right?
What the fuck?
So then, and you're like, and the only thing she says is, and the guy who plays Mickey, his name is like Donovan or some stupid name like that. Sorry to all the Donovans out there. That I didn't mean it like that.
We
And
know what you meant.
she's like, Donovan knows, and she's like, no.
What is this movie? I
So
would totally
then,
see that. This is the kind of movie that like YouTube personalities would make videos about, like it would get popular for being so bad it's good.
right, that's what I'm going for here.
Oh,
And so
okay.
she's like, we have to get you out of there. We have to flee the country. And she's like, relax. Like, I don't have a passport, girl. And so she like comes to her house. It's like 3 in the morning at this point, and they go to Florida, right?
Yeah.
And so like the next day, it like cuts to like the park opening, and like the little cast director. The cast director is just called cast director. Like you never know the name of that character.
Yeah. Okay.
And they're like doing like the roll call of like 2 people. They're like Donovan. He's like, I'm here. Millie, and like she's not there, right? And so, God, I don't even know, man. Like, they're like, she's gone. Like, it's a whole huge fit. Media coverage. Then cuts to the little princess lair. They're all freaking out. They're like, do we go save the day or like what? And like, they all do the thing where they're like, one last time, girls. And like, they all put on the costumes again because
Oh
they
my
finally
god.
just take them off and they walk into the park like, my Zoom background right now, like flames blowing up in the background, like very action movie. They're all walking in there, but it's just like them in their dresses and like the respective princes at their side. And then like all the other characters who have walked out with them, they're like all coming back in. They're like, hey, right? So
We
it
heard
cuts to
you
them.
needed princesses.
Mm-hmm. And then that's when all the girls finally realize that Jessica is missing too. And they're like, cut to them in Florida, right?
This movie's so long.
I know. I think it could be like a 2-hour movie, There's a lot of plot to get through.
Oh my
Um,
god.
they go into like the casting office and they see these other 2 girls and they're like, yeah, I want to be this princess. I want to be this one. And then they have their audition. They're like, all right, we'll call you soon. And you've got it, like, congrats. And they walk out and then like, they like, it's like kind of implied that like they kill them and they like take over their lives and then they get to be the princesses.
Oh, so the reason that Millie is like that they all judge her and they hate her so much is because she killed the girl who was gonna be Rapunzel.
Right, but see, the way she covers it up is that it's like the girl who like actually got the role was like she was stealing Millie's identity, so she like turned it. So I call this
Millie's Disneyland adventure.
it's called
It has to start with M. Night Shyamalan's, because that's what it sounds like.
M. Night Shyamalan's M. Night Shyamalan's Tower Escape.
And then the poster is like the top of the Disneyland castle, and that's like the tower.
And then and, and in the Haunted Mansion, it's all the bodies that Millie's killed.
Oh, I kind of like that. That's a little gruesome.
Right?
You should, okay, this reminds me of an art house film that came out a few years ago called Escape from Tomorrow or Escape from Tomorrowland, and it's all about Disneyland, and it's a really,
Mhm.
really bad movie about how like twisted Disneyland is, I guess. I highly suggest you watch it. That gave me the same horrible vibe. So my next venture is called, so did you ever see the Tomorrowland movie?
No, but I know what it's vaguely about. Got
I
George Clooney.
I saw it because I'm a Disneyland person. It was a very bad
Right.
movie. And so this is my way of kind of fixing that and the Haunted Mansion movie at the same breath. Because while I love the Haunted Mansion movie, I'm very nostalgic for it. It's just not a good
Mhm.
movie, you
It's
know?
not, and that's what makes it so good. I love that
So
movie.
I'm gonna crash those two movies together, and this movie is called New Orleans Square, which is that one land in Disneyland, right in between Critter Country and
Quitter country. It's
Adventureland.
just all these people walking around. They're like, I hate it here. I
I
quit.
hate it here. uh, and it has pirates in it. It has Haunted Mansion in it. It has Pirates Lair, which is like the Tom Sawyer Island kind of piratey overlay, and all of that
Mhm.
great, amazing Cajun food and New Orleans kind of styling. So this movie, to okay, this requires a little bit of Disneyland history. So the Haunted Mansion's original kind of story or the backstory for the house itself, it's why there's a little ship on the weather vane. They wanted to tie it into the pirate attraction that was going to be opening.
Mhm.
So it all was part of the same land. So the story was that the owner of the house was like this sea captain who was secretly a pirate, and he'd steal stuff from other ships. And his wife never knew about it. And he'd hide up all the gold in like the attic. Uh, and then his
Whoa.
wife one day like discovered all of it and was so disgusted with what her husband did. And he walked in and he saw her like jump from the window from the attic.
Whoa,
And she died.
crazy.
And then he hung himself. And that was the original story. It's not the story of the ride now.
Mhm.
It doesn't really, now the story is like a ghost retirement home, but that was kind of the original vibe, and that's why there's a sailor
Right.
ship on the weather vane, and it kind of ties everything together. So this
Mhm.
story, of course, takes place in a little kind of tucked away area of Louisiana, very near New Orleans, and they call it New Orleans Square, just for simplicity. It's right next to the water, so it's the same story for the house, but it's been so long since that time that it's just kind of become legend, and it's a spooky house. It's kind of a touristy thing now where you can go and you can get little, it's kind of the one thing this little area has to offer. You can go, you can get like merch, they offer a tour of the house, all this stuff. It's kind of a local legend. But other
Mhm.
than that, they have all of this great like food, and it's just this really nice community. And it follows the story of a young girl, and maybe her like brother, I don't know,
Right.
young people who are just very into like ghosts and the supernatural. And what they do, like the beginning, the setup of the movie, is they pursue this interest because they like to look for old pirate bones washed up on the beach, like the beginning of the Pirates ride. We're tying everything together here.
Oh,
And
whoa.
like old pirate relics that wash up from the shoreline. And they're so interested in like the supernatural pirate legend, the ghost legends and stuff. And if you've ever heard anything about New Orleans, that city has so many ghost legends. That city is haunted as fuck. So,
Mhm. Yeah.
they're in the perfect area for all this. Their mom is kind of like, oh no, don't is supernatural, that's all malarkey. And these two sleuths are like, but adventure is out there. And one day they want to go into the haunted house at night when like none of the tour guides or anything are there and look for supernatural things.
Mm-hmm.
And they do, and they meet all of the ghosts. They meet both ghosts from the haunted mansion, like classic ghosts of people who had lived in this mansion after the murder before it became like a touristy thing and had tragically died there. Like basically what happened after, the mariner's wife, they both killed themselves.
Right.
Like everyone who moved into that house afterward or was in that house at all afterward had died a really, really tragic death.
Mm-hmm.
And all of his pirate buddies haunt there too, so we can include a lot of the famous Pirates of the Caribbean characters. Why not? Why
Let's do
not?
it.
And it's right on the water as well, so it could also be like dead pirates just like come and park their dead pirate ships over there or something. So basically, it's not really a thriller. It's not scary. It's very kind of hokey. Like these two living kids are just trying to get out of the house with the help of all of these ghosts. They're all pretty
Mm-hmm.
nice. Maybe there's one, like the old mariner. He's like a really old, salty man. He's kind of the villain of the story, and he's trying to keep them trapped in. But they're
Yeah.
trying to get away by sunrise so they don't befall a tragic fate. They don't want to,
Right.
because everyone who's entered that house or whatever, who's maybe they fall asleep in the house, and maybe because they've lived in there for a day,
Mm-hmm.
they're like the curse is gonna pass on to them and they're gonna die in the house tragically or something. But they're trying to get out by like sunrise, and they meet all the wacky ghosts on the way, and the ghosts help them out, but the mariner's trying to keep them trapped in for whatever reason. Uh, and they make it out, of course. It's a happy ending, and we can have an homage to the end of the old Haunted Mansion movie, and maybe they can take away like one of the singing busts to be like one of their friends, and that's like their takeaway from the
Aww.
and like a pirate hat. Like
Oh, how
it would be,
cute.
and maybe it could be like a family bonding movie. Like the message would be like, I don't know, you know those kind of movies,
Like
like the
Hocus
brother,
Pocus.
yes, like the brother and sister, they have a really bad relationship or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not
And
the
then like
mom who
they
doesn't
get
believe, but maybe like the sister
right.
drags along the brother
They
on
get
top
like
of
closer through
things.
tragedy.
Yeah, and they get
Yeah.
closer, and they were always at odds, but then they get closer. And maybe this is mirrored, like maybe the three hitchhiking ghosts don't get along, but then they're like, well, you know what? You should love your siblings because I love my ghost buddies. Something like that. It's a very uplifting story, and I think it would be good.
All right. That actually is really cute. I really like
I'd
that.
want the older sister to be played by Millie Bobby Brown because she does those like scared faces really, really well.
Right. Yeah.
And the old mariner would be Steve Buscemi just because I really like Steve Buscemi. Yeah,
And then
I was a
you
sailor
even
once.
right, and then even with that, you can have like a Little Monsters Inc. tie-in reference.
In the ghost, okay. Okay. I want one really weird celebrity cameo in there, and I think Madame Leota should have a husband, and it's Woody Harrelson. And like and the story of how she died is like maybe they got in a really bad fight and he cut off her head but she cut off his legs, so he's like a top, she's like a top half and he's like a bottom half. And I don't know, I just feel like that would be so funny.
Wait a
That's my
minute.
one request for this film.
My one request is that Madame Leota be played by Josh Gad.
No,
That's it.
Josh Gad and Drake Bell would be the two ghosts in the portrait that are firing guns at each other. And
They
and you
would.
wouldn't be able to tell it's them. They still have like the old timey like
Hmm.
beards on and stuff. That's just,
Yeah,
why not? Why not?
I
Okay,
like it.
what is your pitch?
All right, our last pitch for today. All right, it's called Fourscore on the Muppet Battlefield.
My God.
All right, so I'm blanking on the name of it, but is it the Hall of Presidents?
There's the Hall of Presidents, and there's also at Disneyland Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln.
All right. So, refresh my memory. The Hall of Presidents, that has all the presidents, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
And then Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, is that back room where it's the bust of him?
No, that's the little show. There is a bust of him
Okay.
in there, but it's a little show. It's the one with the animatronic Lincoln that like awed people in the 1960s. They were
Okay,
like,
so we're
"Oh my
going
God,
with the
he's
animatronic.
here!" Yes.
Right. So we start off with our young hero. I don't know. Um, it's good old good old Grover, right?
Love
You know,
Grover.
little Grover. Um, he walks in and he is a history buff. Like this man, he's like, yeah, I know all the wars, all the presidents. Yes, I do. And he's doing the little tour for himself. Like he goes to the Hall of Presidents and then he goes to the what is it? The Lincoln, the Great
Yeah.
Moments with Mr. Lincoln. And he is like staring at the animatronic of him and he's like, I love this man. I want to marry him.
Oh
But
my
like he
God.
doesn't, because he like has some sort of like self-respect and sense in his mind. Um, however, like in a fit to be closer to his idol, he reaches out for Mr. Lincoln and the Lincoln animatronic grabs him back and he holds his hand and then suddenly there's like an electricity jolt. Uh be- and he's transported back 4 score. Right.
Oh, so the Lincoln animatronic is a time travel device,
Yes.
but it only takes you back 4 score at a time, which is what, 80 years?
So if we're starting this movie now, it takes you back to like the 60s. Nope, that's not right. the
No.
the the 40s.
Yes, yes.
So he's like so he basically gets to see history in every 80 year increment. And and
What?
obviously and like the farther back he goes, he's like he's like well, first okay, so he's in like the 40s, right? And I don't remember anything that happened in the 40s. I just know it was like a prime era for like Hollywood. So he like kind of feels like at home.
And it's
So
also,
like,
the World War
oh
too.
yeah,
That's
that did
Nazis and
happen.
stuff. Can Grover fight Nazis? Oh my God. I'm sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt, but you know how in
Grover
like
would be
all
a
the Muppet
Nazi.
movies, like the Muppets play the famous characters, like in
That's
Christmas
what I was
Carol
getting to.
and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, can there be like a Gonzo Hitler?
I was gonna have it be Kermit, but okay.
No, Kermit wouldn't do that. Kermit,
In
if
this,
okay,
he
what would
would
the
in
time
this.
period be? Okay, so you have the 40s, you go
Right. So
back
wait. So
to
get
the
this. So get this.
1860s.
Something like that. But in
He'd
the
be
40s,
something cool in the 1860s.
he would. He meets a lovely girl, right? She's a new Muppet. We've never met her. We call her Joanne.
Joanne, I love her.
And she is like a little starlet on the rise and like she's like, Grover, don't go to war, Grover. And he's like,
Please,
I would
Grover.
he's like, I would die for you, right? Like they fall in love. And then
Oh, why he's on the front lines. He sees like a poster for her movie and she's made it big and he like
yeah.
looks at it and he looks at like a locket or like a pocket watch and there's like a picture of her in there. He's like, I'll see that movie one day. And he shuts it, then he cocks his gun, shoots some Nazis.
and then so like he goes into the forest like on the battlefield and then he's about to shoot because he hears something and it's Mr. Lincoln again and he says, Mr. Lincoln. what are you doing here? And he grabs him. Like, this time Lincoln's like, nah, come on, man, like, let's go. And he's like, Joanne, and like through like the time travel waves or whatever. And so then from here we're brought back to
To the
to
1860s.
to the 1860s.
Wait, let me Google cool events from I think the 1860s is like Lincoln.
I do. I think it is.
1860s. What happened? Yeah, this was abolition of slavery.
Oh, perfect. Okay, great. Got it. So Grover's there, right? And this time he's holding Lincoln's hand and they're like at the front of like Lincoln's house because like you time travel to the same spot that like like it's that spot but like in the same year. Given it's kind of iffy with like starting at Disney because like this stuff didn't happen in California, but like for the sake of Disney magic, from then on, once you're in the past, it's same spot.
Once you're in the past, the rules don't apply.
Exactly. And time travel movies, they have their own rules anyway. So he's like, but he's not an animatronic anymore. He's Mr. Lincoln in the flesh. That I want to say Lincoln is like 6'6", is he not?
He's tall, yeah.
Tall man in his
Plus
strides.
the hat.
I would say that for this movie, Mr. Lincoln is played by Adam Driver.
It always comes back to Adam Driver.
It does. And so he's like, this is
actually
my home,
scratch
Grover.
what I said on my last pitch. Fire Woody Harrelson. Put Adam Driver in, so he's just in every movie.
That's fair. Right. The guy who plays Donovan, Mickey in mine,
will
Adam
be
Driver. Okay. Instead of Adam Sandler, it's Adam Driver.
Oh, yes.
Right, yeah. So he's like, this is my home, Grover. See what happened to it? And like he's guilt tripping him, like, you know, for like, you know, westward expansion and like all the guilt that you could put on this poor little blue man.
For Western Lincoln made Nevada.
Whatever.
Isn't Western expansion horrible?
What's or like upbuilding and like deforestation? Like he's like very like this is my
he's like look at this beautiful forest and also the Confederacy, but look at this forest.
Right. And he's like, this is my life, right? And then like he gets mad at him. He's like, you took me away from my love, Joanne. He's like, I hate you, Mr. Lincoln. And he's like, wait, don't go. You're not supposed to leave because he's going to change history. And I don't know exactly when it was signed. So like, if you want to fact check that for me, please look it up. But Grover goes to the day they're signing the Emancipation Proclamation and he rips it up at the town hall.
Okay. Wait. I can make your movie even better.
No.
Wait,
I'm not done.
Wait, please let me tell you a very important tidbit of information. Before the Lincoln animatronic comes out and he makes a speech, they play like this 15-minute long kind of movie about America, about Lincoln's life, but then there's the song in the movie about two brothers that fought on different sides of the Civil War. And there's like information about the Civil War in there. So maybe he uses that information some way, like that he learns during the show.
Oh my god. So he rips it up and like Lincoln's like whatever, right? And then so he like goes to grab him off the stage. But of course he time travels back even further. So now he's at
the 1720 of America.
Right?
Yeah.
So now it's where it gets good. He's like, and at this point Lincoln is gone. Like Lincoln does not exist. Like usually when he goes back to the place, like Lincoln's in his hand, he lets go, he disappears, and then like he sees him again when like Lincoln's ready for him. Lincoln's like gone because he doesn't exist. Right? Like he's not even born yet. Yeah. And then all of a sudden he's like I can do this part a little better because this is Hamilton stuff. This is mine.
Can George Washington be Kermit? No, George Washington's Fozzie.
If anything, I think that Kermit would be. He wouldn't be Hamilton. Dare I say it? Animal would be Kermit. Or no, Animal would be Hamilton.
Scooter would be James Madison. I think Kermit would
Miss Piggy would
be
be Peggy.
oh
Miss
duh.
Peggy.
Miss
Peggy.
Miss
You
Peggy.
just call Miss Peggy.
I think Kermit should be Mariah Reynolds. Let's
As
maybe
do
in the
I.
other historical segments, and
Right.
maybe it's not Kermit himself, but it's like his ancestors, and you can tell because they talk the same and whatever. Maybe they just have one distinct feature. So maybe like in the other historical segments, Kermit's kind of like the straight man, like how
Yeah,
Kermit
yeah,
always
yeah.
is. But in this one, he's just a completely random character.
Right. So he's like, what am I doing? And like then so then he ends up living there for a hot minute. Like this whole part's a
Well,
montage.
yeah, you can't time travel.
Right. So he's like learning to like found America and like he's like his name is on the Declaration of Independence now. And
God,
like and so he's
you
going through
can't
his
erase
life.
that. They don't have
No.
erasers yet.
And and then all of a sudden he he's talking to George Washington, right? And he finally confides in him on like who he is because like Grover changed his identity. He changed his name to Rover. Um, I don't know. And he's like, I have to tell you something, Mr. George Washington. And he's like, that's okay. And he pats him on the back and he time travels back to the present with Mr. Lincoln in the thing, right? And
Can he
he's
still have
like,
the pocket watch with Joanne's like picture in it, and then be like,
yes.
"I'll always come back to you. It'll always
Right.
be you."
So he's there, and because Muppets have like no timeline of like their life, he's like he's like reaching out to Mr. Lincoln and like he's like looking at him. And then he's like and like you hear like the announcement in the park, like we're closing like in 10 minutes because he's been there all day. This is a whole day affair. You can't get a park hopper pass for this. Like you can't
Can't get a
fast pass
park
this
hopper
line.
pass for time.
Right.
That should be the title of the movie.
Four score and fast pass ago.
Of course.
And so he's walking out of the park and like he's upset and like he just like storms out and like skips the gift shops like he usually would to buy his memorabilia and like he bumps into this woman and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. And then he looks up and it's Joanne. And then they like
And she's like the biggest celebrity.
yeah,
and she's really old too.
she knows who he is, but she didn't age.
Oh yeah, she's a
So
Muppet.
like right. So like he's like, oh, and it's love at first sight, and then it just ends.
So it's the Captain America story. It's Captain America and Endgame, except instead of him going back in time, she just lives her life and goes forward in time.
Right. So that's my pitch.
I love it. That is a horrible movie, but that would be my favorite.
Right.
But Grover isn't like a Muppet. Grover is a Sesame Street one, so he's the blue.
Oh, are you kidding
So that
me?
makes so that's even I think that's even funnier
I didn't even realize
because
that.
he's just a little cute little Sesame Street character.
I thought, wait,
There,
this is
I mean, Henson
so,
worked on Sesame
why
Street.
didn't you stop me at the beginning?
I thought it was on purpose. I thought it was funny, but then you didn't stop me when I said Gonzo, and I was like, wow.
I think I was thinking of Gonzo. Wait,
I think it
am
should
I?
be. I think it'd be
No.
really funny if it was like Fozzie.
It's like Beaker.
Oh my god, that would be so funny. I love Beaker.
All right. So
Okay.
what now?
So now we have to pick which movie was the best, and we're gonna improvise a scene from that film so we can
Okay.
pitch it to Disney itself. So our options are The Enchanted Tiki Room, M. Night Shyamalan's Tower Escape, New Orleans Square the movie, and
Four score and a fast pass ago.
Fourscore and a fast pass ago. I think the movie that would most likely make it into theaters is the Enchanted Tiki Room movie because it's more of a rom-com and it's not as high concept, but I do think New Orleans Square would be like the best movie ever.
How about this? How about this? Because we're both biased to our own ideas. We pick one of each other's ideas.
I am very down for that. Okay, which one of my ideas would you like to perform, Angelina?
Definitely the New Orleans Square one.
Okay. Who would you like to be?
Wait, no, we're getting down to a final two, right?
Oh, I want to do, yes. I want to do, if we were to do a scene from one of your movies, I'd like to do a scene from a fast pass, wait, Fourscore and a fast pass ago, please.
Yeah.
That is my favorite movie of all time.
So what if we just did a minute scene from each? I'll start a timer.
Okay,
I would-
okay. I'll be Abe Lincoln. We can do the scene when we go back to the 1860s and Grover and Abe Lincoln lecturing Grover on nature.
Okay. So
That's the scene that appeals to me the most.
Right. It's such a God, I want to write that now.
That's
Okay.
that's the emotional climax of the film.
I know. Realizing that Grover's an awful person.
Whoa!
All
Okay,
right.
okay.
Timer's on
for
the clock.
1 minute.
I'll give it 2 minutes just because
2 minutes.
you're monologuing. 2 minutes. All right. And go.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Time travel. Land in this time. Oh, Grover, are you there?
Where are we?
Grover, it's me, the real Abraham Lincoln now. We're in the 1860s, the time when I was president before I was assassinated.
You monster, you took me away from my love. Joanne drops to the floor and does like the Stella thing. Ah!
But am I the real monster, Grover? Look up! And then Grover looks up and he sees a dense forest and beautiful trees and little tower homes lit by oil lamps.
Where is everything?
That's the thing, Grover. Not everything is centralized because my people lived in nature. Look, trees. Remember trees? Deforestation.
There's no way to love with trees. Are you kidding me?
Have you ever heard of tree huggers, Grover? People love trees plenty.
I can't do this, Mr. Lincoln. Mr. Lincoln, I thought you were my idol. You were everything to me. So you know what? You took away the most important thing in my life. I'm gonna take away the most important thing in yours.
Grover, no! And then Abe Lincoln like disintegrates into time dust. And you can tell it's time dust because there's little like hourglasses on the dust particles.
That was a pretty good scene, not gonna lie.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
I really like this.
Okay. Okay. So what scene would you like to do from New Orleans Square, the movie? The film?
I would like to do this scene. Let's do what you would consider the emotional climax of the movie, because it feels fitting.
The emotional climax? I think now that we have Madame Leota and her husband, I think when the siblings are arguing and they kind of went separate ways, like they convince them to love one another. Like even though Leota and her husband mortally maimed the other, they still love each other because that's what family's all about.
Right. So am I Madame Leota?
You can be Madame Leota and I'll be the sister who is played by Millie Bobby Brown. And even though they're in New Orleans, she's gonna keep her British accent.
Okay. Oh, so it's that part in the movie where like they each pull like the character aside and they're like, you guys have to change.
Yeah, totally.
So is Madame Leota giving the advice or is Millie Bobby Brown giving the advice?
Madame Leota is giving the advice.
Okay. All right. Timer on the clock. Take it away.
I hate him, Madame Leota. He's stinky and gross and stupid, and I'd rather die in this house than be alive with a brother.
Oh, please, he might be your brother, but, well, he's your brother. So, you have to love him. He's family. I don't always like my husband. Your brother's gonna do bad things, and he's gonna make you upset, and you can't let that get in the way. My own husband cut off my own head, and I'm in this ball right now. And it sucks. I'm not gonna lie to you. But I still love him. Or at least what's left of him.
But, Madame Leota, what if my brother tries to brutally maim me? He
Well,
seems very tempted to do so. He
well,
is
then it
hanging out
better
with your
happen.
husband.
Then it better happen before, oh God, I can't even think. Then it better happen after you guys leave this house because you can't stay here. This isn't a place for you two. You guys have hope.
Oh, the song from Beetlejuice, like What I Know Now plays in the background. Oh my gosh, that's totally how the movie would end. All the ghosts would be like, if you're breathing, go out. And then Millie Bobby Brown finds her brother and they dart for the exit. And literally, like, as the sun is coming up, they like hit the ground in front of the house.
Be
Bro,
free, my
I'm gonna pitch
children.
that movie to Disney.
Right, that's a good movie.
I would love to see the Tiki Room movie be as like a really trashy Adam Sandler rom-com. That would
It would be
be
great.
the highlight of my life. Well,
It'd be
everyone, thank
awesome.
you for listening to our incessant ramblings on the Table
That was
Talk
so fun.
podcast. Episode 1. Whoa, we did something.
We did.
If you have prompt suggestions for our next session, then please leave them down below. Tell us which one you like the best and why. Write us a little essay. No less than 500 words. You will be graded. No extra credit will be
MLA.
offered. MLA, please. 12-point Times New Roman. Jane Schaefer paragraphs, please.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, we'll be off.
Goodbye.
Bye. In the tiki room.